In 1901, divers pulled a shapeless lump of corroded bronze out of a 2,000-year-old shipwreck, and inside it was a machine that shouldn't have been built for another 1,500 years. It has gears. Dozens of them. Hand-cut to a precision we usually associate with the 1700s. And it was made before the birth of Christ. This might be the most unsettling object in the ancient world. Not because we can't understand it, we mostly cracked how it works. It's unsettling because of what it forces us to admit about everything that came after it. So stay with me. Because the real mystery here isn't the machine. It's the silence that followed it. Start with what it looked like, because that's the first trick this object plays. In 1901, Greek sponge divers were blown off course and sheltered near a tiny island called Antikythera. On the seabed below them lay a Roman-era wreck packed with treasure, bronze and marble statues, coins, fine glass. That's what made the headlines. Buried in the hull was a crusted chunk of metal about the size of a show box, split open and caked with 20 centuries of sea. Next to the statues, it was nothing. A reject. It very nearly didn't matter at all. And there's the pattern that repeats through this whole story. It has always looked like junk, right up until someone looked closer. Because as the lump dried out, it cracked. And in the corrosion, someone spotted the unmistakable teeth of a gear. For decades, nobody could see inside it without destroying it. The truth only came out when modern X-ray and CT scanning were finally turned on the fragments, most famously by an international research team in the 2000s. What they found stopped them cold. This was not a simple gadget. It held a train of at least 30 interlocking bronze gears, some with teeth barely a couple of millimeters across, stacked in layers. There were dials on the front and the back. And there were tiny inscriptions covering it, a user's manual, etched straight into the metal. Here's the contrast that should give you chills. It looks like a corroded rock. It is, in function, a hand-cranked analog computer. You turned a knob on the side, and an entire model of the cosmos turned with it. So what did it do? This is where it stops being impressive and starts being eerie. Turn the crank, and the front dial showed the sun and the moon moving against the zodiac. A little ball, half silver and half black, rotated to show you the exact phase of the moon. The back dials laid out the calendar and predicted eclipses decades ahead, right down to the likely month. It even tracked the 4-year cycle of the games, the Olympics among them. A pocket model of the heavens and of human time, running on bronze. And it did something genuinely subtle. The moon doesn't actually cross our sky at a constant speed, it speeds up and slows down. To capture that, the makers built a clever pin and slot arrangement, 2 gears mounted slightly off-center, feeding each other a varying motion. That is not the work of tinkerers guessing. That is astronomical theory, translated into metal. Now the connection that reframes the whole thing, because to grasp what this object really is, you have to leave archaeology and step into the history of computing. We like to tell ourselves a tidy story. That real calculation began with clockwork gears in the Renaissance, machines in the Industrial Age, electronics in the 20th century. A neat staircase, always climbing. The Antikythera mechanism kicks that staircase out from under us. By any honest definition, it's an analog computer. It takes an input, runs it through a physical model of mathematical relationships, and outputs a prediction. It's the first one we know of. And the next machine of anything close to this complexity, the great astronomical clocks of medieval Europe, comes more than 1,000 years later. Sit with that gap. Not a decade ahead of its time. Not a century. Over 1,000 years. And that's the real mystery, the one the title points at, just not where you'd expect. We can explain how the gears mesh. What we cannot comfortably explain is the silence on both sides of it. A device this refined is never a first attempt. You don't hand-cut a 30-gear computer out of nowhere. There had to be earlier, cruder versions, a workshop, teachers, a whole lineage of knowledge behind it. We have almost no trace of any of that. And then, afterward, nothing. For more than 1,000 years, the record goes quiet. No comparable machine. The skill to build one seems to simply evaporate. Wars, fires, the slow collapse of the world that made it, and generations of accumulated engineering vanish as if they were never there. So the uncomfortable question was never how did they build it? It's how do you lose something like this? Here's what I think this corroded box is really trying to tell us, and it's bigger than gears. We treat progress like gravity. Like it only points one way. Like whatever we know now, we'll always know. The Antikythera mechanism is physical proof that this is a comforting lie. Knowledge isn't a possession you get to keep. It's a fire that has to be tended, and if the world that's tending it falls, the fire goes out. The people who come after don't even know what they've lost, because what's gone leaves no shape behind. 2,000 years ago, someone could hold the universe in their hands and turn it with a crank. Then the world that knew how forgot. And we only found the ashes by accident, in a shipwreck, and very nearly dropped them in a drawer. So here's the question I'll leave you with. If a civilization could lose something this advanced without even leaving the instructions, what are we quietly forgetting right now? Tell me in the comments. And if this rearranged something in your head, the knowledge that burned with the great libraries of the ancient world will do it again. That one's on screen now.